another weekend on the van, and just got a delivery. Obviously you can't see it, it's dark, but it is water tanks for the van. So let's get these unloaded. Right then, let's see what's in the box. So I'll unbox all this and then I'll do a proper video showing you everything once everything's unwrapped. So I'm basically going to show you now what come in the boxes. So obviously this is my order form. I had to order other stuff. So when you buy the tanks, you basically get the 2 tanks and the brackets really in the box. I printed out the instructions there. Luckily I did, because in those instructions is it tells you what's not included and what is. But then they also sent 3 instructions: the tank, the level sensors, and then also the smart controller. I'll basically show you through them. So yeah, you got a freshwater tank, a nice big one. This goes basically under the driver's side in the middle, and then you got the wastewater one then, which basically goes behind the spare wheel underneath at the back of the van. So you get the 2 tanks, and then you get the brackets. So you get, these are the 3 brackets which basically sit alongside the van, so into these holes and these holes, and basically that goes into a beam running along the vehicle in the center, and then this one then, this little angle, goes basically along the sill of the vehicle then to hold the tank up. So that is the freshwater, and then you've got the wastewater tank then, where you have these brackets which mount onto the side or onto these holes either end, and then they go into, there's 2 beams that run alongside the back of the van, just behind the spare wheel, and that's what they attach to. This is then the water sensor. I had to buy this separately. It was just something I wanted, so I know roughly where my water levels are. The brackets come with the tanks. The piping I bought separately. This was not included, so I had to buy that. That pretty much runs from the like the drainage ports and stuff like that. So like the fill cap, basically that hose will attach to this and then run into the tank, etc. Just a little fill pot, fill points. You got the smart meter then, smart monitor, smart controller. Comes in a little box then, and then you have the waste points. So this goes onto the side of the van underneath. So yeah, that's what comes in the box. Now we're going to get into installing it. So I'm going to install the brackets to the tanks to start with, and then I will fit the, like, all the pipes, etc., like all the outlets, these little outlets into the tanks. That will basically go into the tank and then run from there then, and then we'll go from there. But before we get into this video, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and leave a comment. Hopefully this video helps you if you are following along on how to install the tanks, or you just enjoy these videos. So that is freshwater tank. Brackets installed, literally bolt this side, bolt that side, pretty simple. And then it's just the outlets then. So you got this one then. Make sure you use PTFE tape, plenty of it, you can never use too much. So I've got two here that I'm going to use. So I've got the gravity fill point, which will basically attach to the fill point on the outside of the van. So literally I can just pour water in there or whatever, and it basically just fills the tank straight away. I've also got the hose attachment then, so this one, so this goes to the outside of the van. That's just a cap that comes off, and then basically you attach a hose to that, and basically you can fill a tank that way. And basically you have a line from here into here. So next stage now is to drill a hole and fit the sensor. So yeah, the sensor, drilled a hole in the tank which the sensor fits into, slide in, and then it's just a matter of making sure that sensor is in the middle, and then using the screws provided, it's just screwing into those holes, and that's pretty much the sensor fitted. That's the sensor fitted now. I'm going to hoover out the inside of all the bits, because I can see there's all the drill holes. And then it's a matter of getting it under the van to install it. So, tank is under the van. This is going to be a nightmare. I can see it already. But pretty much, so these gaps in the tank basically sits this one here and that one down there. So let's see if I can do this. So it fits. It's a tight fit, but it fits. So yeah, next thing now is to mark up the holes. So, and then drill them. So if I show the holes, so these holes on the bracket, them two holes basically screw into this little sill here. Pretty much, so I'm going to mark them up, drill them out, and then screw them on, and then the other side. that is pretty much the outside's done. So 2 screws and then a nut, and pretty much from the outside just looks like that. Now it is for the inside now, so the inside bolts. So yeah, I don't know what the lighting's like under here, but as you can see, we got the brackets attached to the side of the van all the way down, screwed to the tank, and then basically 2 tapping bolts or screws in either end of the bracket here. You could put more in if you want, but seems pretty solid to be fair. And then this then is the sensor that will pretty much get ran into the van then with the kit, with the outlet, which will be here. So this will basically get attached to the side of the van here, and then will be attached there. Waste tank, you have basically 4 holes either end, and then that's where the outlet is. Basically with the brackets, just put it into place so it sits on the holes. You get these bolts, washers, and then there's nuts. So you got some nuts. Pretty much using the holes either end, you're basically gonna thread the nut through, get your hand inside, and then put a nut and washer on side both ends, and that's pretty much the brackets installed. So that's what I'm going to do now. So basically I had to go to B&Q to get a 30mm. I literally had every size apart from a 30mm. I had a 32, 35, 19, all sorts, every size apart from the one size I needed pretty much to drill this inside the waste tank. So pretty much this goes inside the waste tank with, there's a rubber seal there, that goes the outside, and then this then goes in the inside and screws on nice and tight. And then pretty much from the bottom of the sink, so where the tap is, or any drain, shower drain, the tap drain, that will run down and then connect onto this, and this will go into the waste tank. With this hole, you basically want it like the top of the waste tank. So this is pretty much the waste tank. That is the level sensor. They want it roughly about 80% of the height of the tank, so basically it measures that way. And then this, then they want this basically top of the tank. So anywhere top of the tank, dependent on where the tank sits, the bottom of the van, underneath the van, and where your shower or kitchen's going to go, your sink, is where you're going to put this then. And you want it at the top, so if it is full of water and you are stopping, starting, basically you want the water to come out of the tank, back up the pipe, and then through the drains which are inside the tank. So I'm basically going to put the tank underneath now, have a look, and then see where best is to drill this hole. But I basically want it this side of the tank, which is facing the driver's side, because the sink and that's going to be in that corner hopefully. So I want the drain to run from there straight into the bottom of the tank underneath. So the waste tank comes with 2 holes. That's just so it allows you to, can't really see in there, but basically get to the brackets inside, and also to tighten these up. So I put them there and get my hand in through this hole. So with that one is obviously designed with the water tank to screw on, and then Bobil have basically designed this one. It basically has holes already, and then you get this cover then, and it's literally just cover on, match up with the holes. It also has an air vent as well, and then they provide a bag of screws to screw that on. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then the next stage then is to fit it to the bottom of the van. That was complete carnage. So basically got the van on a curb just so I can try and get some height on the van to get under it, but yeah, as you can see there, water tank is in, so pretty tight space to be fair, but as you can see there, it's right up against the spare wheel. You got the 4 bolts for the bracket, and then literally I've put 2 basically screws, tacking screws, self-tapping screws in here, 2 each side. Basically they said that's plenty. I've seen a video of the install. They put 2 in each one, and the guy pretty much hangs off the tank and it doesn't even budge. So 2 should be enough, and exactly the same the other side. So yeah, exactly the same this side, apart from you've got the outlet which will attach to this, which will pretty much go here pretty much, and then that hose will run straight into this, and that is literally for the drain. I've pretty much spent all day on the ground under the van, but wastewater tank done, attached to the outlet, and then it runs down onto this little tap, open, closed. That's pretty much what it looks like from afar. And then for the main tank you have this. So this is for the hose, just attach the hose to that, and the water will go into the tank. Basically just screws onto the sill, comes underneath as you can see, and then this will basically attach to this. So the kit was meant to come with 13mm blue water cable to attach from here to here, and also here into the van, but that didn't come with the kit. I emailed them this morning as soon as I opened the kit, so hopefully I'll get a reply Monday and get that sent out before I buy some, but I'll probably have to buy some anyway because it won't be enough to go from here to the other side of the van where I want the sink to go, and then obviously run this wire, or this piping as well needs to run somewhere. I just don't know where I'm going to put the the fill cap just yet.